If you're like me and sometimes struggle to create content ideas, I want to share one strategy I'm doing that's yielding me a ton of results, and I literally never have to sit in front of a blank screen ever again, wondering what type of content I should create. So if you want to live like that, here's my suggestion for you, is to build an idea bank. Now, it sounds a lot more complicated than it actually is. What an idea bank is a central repository where you can access all your thoughts. And you fill up the central repository by just going about your day-to-day life, and as ideas or inspiration or thoughts, concepts strike, you just simply jot your thoughts down into this idea bank. And it sounds pretty simple, right? So I'll give you how I do it. I'll give you two more examples of people in my life that do it, and that should give you a good starting point of how you can build it for yourself. So I just use Apple Notes, right? Pretty simple, pretty basic. As I just go through life, as I hang out with friends, my family, watching TV, hanging out with my dog, whatever. Ideas strike, I will just jot it down in my Apple Notes, and that syncs to my phone, computer, etc. So I can always go back and visit those thoughts and turn those into actual content ideas. Now, I would just recommend jotting them down as you think. You don't have to have them fully polished, because you can always go back and revisit these threads and add more string to them. So I use Apple Notes, and when I'm on my computer, usually I'm on my computer like 10, 12 hours a day, I have a Google Tabs open specifically for this, and I'll just put ideas down in that. So that becomes my idea bank. So doing this every day basically generates me a ton of ideas, probably like anywhere from 2 to 3 ideas a day, because I was able to turn off the filter of what content is, and I'll explain what that means in just a second. But essentially, this generates me almost 20 ideas a week. So it works for me, and it might work for you. So I would definitely recommend trying this out. But I'll give you two more examples of how people do it. So Alex Ramosi, one of my heroes, right, as I'm sure he's a hero for many people, he uses Twitter. So he will document his thoughts in real time on Twitter. And the content that does well on Twitter is, and whatever gets the most engagement, turns into longer form pieces of content that he'll share with the world. I have a client that I'm working with, and we do like daily calls. So a lot of the idea, content, and brainstorming, we do a lot of manufactured content, but a lot of the content that may come from documentation, he just texts me, or we're going to set up a shared Slack channel for organization's sake, and he was going to post it in there. So all those thoughts in Slack channel, the text are pretty unpolished, and I'll extract that, and we'll polish them up together whenever we meet, and then that turns into content ideas for him. So with Alex Ramosi, he could tweet 5, 7 times a day. Maybe two of them pop off, and those become content ideas for him later. And he does that 7 days a week. That's 14 content ideas. And of course, he has his own mechanisms at this point, but I'm just saying like that's just how it could work. So I probably get 2, 3 pieces of content that I write in my Apple Notes, and that becomes 14 pieces of content ideas that I'm not saying I have to make every single one of them, but they're just ideas that I can go back and revisit and think if it's good or not. Because in the moment, everything sounds great. When you go revisit after like 2 nights of sleep, and maybe it's not so pretty. So the key point of what I'm trying to say is you just need a place to dump your content ideas. It's a safe space with zero judgment where you can just put your unpolished thoughts. And what this does is actually, one, it allows you to think more clearly, and two, it allows you to turn off the filter in your brain of what actually content is. So there's two types of content that you can put into your idea bank, which is manufactured content and documented content. So manufactured content is a content that you'll sit at your desk and you'll brainstorm and try to create out of thin air. Documented content is the content that you do via your actions, experiments, and results. And you're just simply sharing that with your ICP, which is your ideal customer profile, because it's helpful to them. So having an idea bank for both of these is invaluable, because a lot of the stuff that we do on a day-to-day basis is pretty boring and pretty mundane, and we don't see a lot of value in it because we've done it 200 times. But our ICP, it would be pretty novel for them because they have never done this. So they would get a lot of value. So I think if we can just turn off that filter, then everything becomes content, and we start documenting instead of creating, and that makes the content creation process so much easier. So here's the final thought: is just having that space is probably going to give you a ton of content ideas every single week. I would recommend trying it out for 7 days, see if it works for you. It's made my process a lot smoother, and I think it could help you as well. So if you found some value in this, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. Thanks.